microphone on. And so when see if I can hear my own voice. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Maybe it just doesn't go on until you get active. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see if I can do a little bit better than with poor Ed. Although he was good about it. All right, stop streaming. It's streaming. Okay, say something, my man. Hello, 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 hello. Maybe it just doesn't go on until you get active. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see if I can do a little bit better. Poor Ed. Although he was good about it. One second. Stop streaming. It's streaming. Okay, say something, my man. All right, we're gonna go into it live. I can hear myself, so we're gonna jump right in. All right, and I'll listen. I'll listen for it. Hopefully it works. We're gonna see each other at least. All right, Tony Bada Bing. I'm actually here, and people can see me and people can hear me. I hope. Poor Ed DeRosa. We had a fabulous discussion. I'll introduce my next guest in a second, Tom Amello. But Ed and I had a fabulous discussion about not playing the underlay, the number 8 in the last race. Neither one of us played it. Of course, neither one of us had the winner. So, Tom, you were supposed to be my second guest, but Tom Amello, who, like me, former teacher, educator, like me, educates within the game. That's what I'm trying to do here today. We're going to have a horse racing gambling show, talking strategies and skills that we've learned along the way that we want to share with others, that we're going to apply to the races along the way. Like I said, Ed didn't like the 8, neither did I, but neither one of us had the winner. So, c'est la vie. So, Tom, just introduce yourself a little bit. What you've done in horse racing. I know it's a long story, Tom. So let's keep it brief. Let's keep it brief. 60 seconds or less.
We'll
But
give you the freeze dried version. My father and my uncle were New York punters, and they used to feed me horses. They were horse for the course guys. They never met a favorite they could bet. My father lost so many exactas because he wouldn't use the favorite, but whenever he was right, he cashed, and that made him happy. His philosophy, my philosophy, was always minimum in for maximum out. I'm a 28 to 32% win handicapper, and I've handicapped at Saratoga since '89, and that's my record. 28%, not so good, and 2% was the best. I beat the meet. Playing out of bankrupt. That's my number. And I allowed about 3% a day for betting. That's about $300. And I still lost 175. In other words, if I start the day with 300, I'm going to churn that 300, but I don't want to non-win or lose more than $175. That's the way I'm playing these days. And Ben, we're all playing a little bit more or less because the cars are killing us.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The computer guys are killing us. Okay. My basic bet is win at 4-1 or more.
Okay.
And I'm always looking for more than 4-1. My mantra has been 4-1 for life. If God touched me on the shoulder, said you never have another winner, but you'll get 4-1 for life, I'd be a happy camper.
So this
Go
is
ahead.
so interesting. Number one is the first thing you mentioned, which I don't think enough of us. I learned it from my pops. We don't go with the budget. It's kind of willy-nilly. It's a 9 race card, it's a 10 race card. Maybe we like something in the 3rd race, we go hog wild, or maybe we like something in the 7th or 8th race and we get there with only $25 in our pocket or $10 in our pocket, and we don't have enough to play or to play it right or play it well. So you mentioned one, a budget. Two, you mentioned when I get to a certain point, I stop. I just stop playing. I feel like I'm not going to turn the tide. So I got to stay within my means, within my budget. You set yourself a $10,000 budget to play, and that's what the confines that you are within. So you have confines of 10,000, confines of 300, confines of 175. So you have all these stopgap measures for yourself. So when you see that 401 or greater, and you really want to hammer one, that you then have the resources and the means to do that. Tom, great first lesson. Great first lesson. I
Well,
appreciate it.
thank you. I'll just expand on that before we get to the race. And
Yep.
that is, I had a good friend, a professional player. His goal was to earn 4,500 every day, and his stop loss was 2,500. And
Yep.
he tried to get the 4,500 out of the first three races: the double, the win place, the pick three. And he used to say, and Bing, you'll get this: horse players are the only people who go to work every day with a shovel and start the day by digging a hole and then spend the rest of the day trying to dig their butts out. And the
Right.
one thing he did do, when he hit his number, he
Yep.
stopped playing. But he always, because he handicapped the card, he always followed what his picks would have done had he kept betting them. He wanted to know, and he kept records. And what he found out, Bing, if he'd have kept playing, he'd have lost money in more years than if he stopped. In other
Right.
words, stopping, knowing when to stop is a key. Okay.
Perfect.
Um,
So,
you,
so,
you,
so wait a
yeah.
second. Let me, uh, more great advice, right? So people think you're hot, keep playing. That's not how life works. That's a narrative. That's a story you make up. So let's stop there, but it's great stuff because I want to get to the race. 6 furlongs on the dirt, $2,500 claimant. This has to be the bottom level claimant at Saratoga. The purse is $35,000. Non-winners of two races allowed the pounds, blah, 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 blah. So, Tom, I got to know what's your opinion, or more importantly, who the heck do you trust in this race?
Well, the only horse I could trust in this race is the six, and I'm shocked that he's 4-1. This is I expected him to get more money, and I'm delighted at four. That's my number. That's my top horse. And the way I plan to bet this race, so we get off the phone, is I, my budget here is a little over $40. I was going to bet 15 to win on the six at 4-1 or more, and
Okay.
it looks like we're going to get it till the computers kick in.
Yep.
I'm betting exactas. So my basic play is winning exactas,
Okay.
and I never box. I play it this way. I'm going to bet $6 exactas, six over the 158. That'll be $18. I bet 15 to win on the six at 4-1. Um, Now I'm going to protect, not with an exacta box. I'm going to protect. I'm going to press the 6-5 for another six, and then I'm going to reverse 5-6 for $4 and 1-8 over the five for $2.
Okay.
I don't play boxes because you send in an equal amount of money after an unequal payoff. And I'm hoping that my top horse, my key horse, is going to run first or second. I rarely play triples, although there are times that I would, and sometimes I'd play doubles, but I didn't like them on either side today. So
Yeah.
that's my plan, and it's a $41 play.
$41 play. And so you keying the horse you like at 4-1. You putting in some protection, as you said. You're not boxing. It's funny. Uh, that's what Ed said as well. He's not going to box exactas. He's not going to play. Doesn't fond of playing trifectas or triples in New York at the 50-cent base. I'm not either. I can't remember the last time I played a try in New York. And so you're going win on the six. And who was the other win bet you're going to make?
No, just win six, and then it's just called exacta six over the 158 for,
Yep.
and I'm pressing the 6-5.
Got it.
Who's the
Okay.
favorite?
And just so you
Okay,
know, I don't know if this is good, bad, or indifferent. I like the 1 to 5 as well.
okay, that's good.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, but I had the 159 in my now uh, dead pick five. So um, I
Let,
think I like the bet.
um, I have to say that the current depletion of payouts in the win pools has sent me to the pick five. I think it's the best. I think it's the best race on the best bet on the track. And with my $300 budget, I try to keep my pick fives under 50, if you will,
Yep.
and get lucky.
Right. It,
Because
w-
if you start hunting, if you make that kind of bet and start hunting to put more in there, you can eat your money up pretty fast.
I completely agree. I completely agree. So, I've played pick fives as little as like $12. I played them as much as 500. And so I don't,
I'm going to
I
interrupt you.
yeah, go ahead.
I got to interrupt you, please, because you're giving me the opportunity. I wanted to say, most people eschew the morning line. I
Yep.
love the morning line, and I'll tell you why. When I handicap, I don't use it. I like the blank papers, and I want to make up my own line or feeling on horses. But the morning, people don't realize, I think, how much the morning line informs because the odds board informs. The morning line hints at what kind of race the public is going to bet, how they're going to bet the race. And once live odds start coming in, the public tells you what kind of race it is. And you've talked to me, there's only four types of races: a heavy, heavy favorite, there's a way to play it and play against it. Two favorites, 2-1 or less, there's a way to play it and play against it. And if you choose, you lose, right? Oh, I'll take this one, kiss the other one right to the wire. I like this race that you gave me. You told me I was lucky because this is a balance board because the morning line had it 5-1, I think it was 5-1-6 as the 1-2-3. So this was a clear favorite, a clear second choice, and a clear third choice. I like that because I think that a race like this offers a favorite who is more vulnerable than some others. Now, this favorite may win for fun because he's getting more money.
Yep.
Um, but and then the last race, the board tells us is the chaos race. No favorites. Even nobody in the joint knows who the favorite is. But there's one guy who did, and that was David Aragona. And because his job is to pick the public's favorite.
Yeah,
So in
right.
chaos races, the first thing I do is find who did David like, and then I look for other people to use with him. Anyhow, thanks for
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Yeah, let's we'll have it again. I'm gonna give you time to bet. I appreciate you coming on.
Please.
And we tested it with Ed, and now we made it happen with you. So I'm gonna try to do it maybe a few more Fridays during the meet, and we'll have some fun. We'll learn something.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thank you.
go
You
bet.
be well. Best to you and the family.
Yeah, you as well. Go get him, man. See ya. All right, we are back with race eight. We had a nice discussion. I'll get to my next guest for race eight in a moment, but we had a great discussion about budget, about when to stop betting, and when to bet the win bet at 4 to 1 or greater. My guest Tom Amello really liked the six horse, who my guest and I were just talking about how it clipped heels out of the gate. And you can love a horse, and the gate opens and the race is over. That happens for sure. That happens for sure. So I'm super excited to have our next guest. You can follow him on Twitter, G1 Handicapping. If you play Saratoga, you have to follow him because he gives awesome weather reports. He's so kind with his time. He does not get paid for it as far as I know. But my next guest is Marshall. And Marshall, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, sort of how you got to this place in your betting life and why you're interested in horse racing. We're so glad that you could come on today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Tony. I appreciate it. Yeah, so as you mentioned, I've become quote unquote Twitter famous based on my weather reporting. I try to do as good of a job as possible. I do put about 3 to 4 hours of forecasting time every day for every race. So I definitely do try to make sure that the betters are as informed as humanly possible. Since unfortunately, it does not behoove tracks to do that themselves. So
Yeah,
there definitely is unfortunately a conflict of interest there that typically doesn't work out well. But no, I started to get into horse racing from a best friend of mine who owned horses in Minnesota. His family did, and it took that first time at Canterbury Park to really just start to really engage with the game and dig into the numbers. I'm a huge analytics person. I love numbers. I That's all I work with on a daily basis, so it's really easy for me to dig in and really get stuck in just analyzing, till the sun sets for sure.
yeah. So it's so interesting. Most of us were introduced by a friend or a family member. How long ago was that introduction?
It would have been 15 years ago. I was my storm chasing buddy Brett and I. We would go to Canterbury Park. We would go storm chasing all around the country, and then talk about ponies while on the road a lot. So it was definitely a great way for us to be able to waste time when you're driving down the road.
Yeah, man, that's two different kinds of chasings, right? Chasing the storm, chasing money. I love it. Well, uh, glad to have you. And like I said earlier, if I think it's gonna rain, I'm checking you out on Twitter. In fact, I think I just check you out on Twitter all the time anyway during the Saratoga season. Because as you said, there is a dichotomy, so to speak, and we won't dive into that. Is it whose best interest to know the weather? I would say inform your customers, whatever you're doing, whether that's a grocery store or a racetrack, to help them make the best wages that they can. But we'll leave that there. You, my friend, have the great luck of having race eight today at Saratoga. This is an allowance, over 100,000 non-winners of one, and we're going 6 furlongs. This was an interesting race for sure when I looked at it. And I'm gonna be interested in first, what is your opinion when you went through the race, your analytics? Did something jump out to inform your opinion about why this is a good or is not a good race to bet?
Yeah, for me, the first thing I started to look at was, how many opportunities a lot of these horses have had at this level, what they've done against this company and the like. And really, looking at the favorite, Roswell, has had a couple opportunities at this level and has run into actually some pretty decent company. And so for me, you start with the favorite and go, okay, does this favorite look beatable against this level of competition? I do think that, but I also think that coming into this race, that Roswell has the best credentials, so to speak, and certainly has faced better company than the rest of the field.
So, and looking at that, I think as you evolve and grow as a better horse better, at least I did. You're saying similar things to what Tom said and what Ed said, and nobody got to hear Ed. We talked about the favorite first, overlay, underlay, someone we're willing to take a stand against. Uh, both my first two guests were taking stands against the favorite, and you have like a mixed reaction to it. You can see maybe it would take a shot, but this certainly horse is probably worthy of its price. Is that did I hear that correctly?
That is unequivocally correct. Yeah, I definitely think that the morning line of 5 to 2, 2 to 1 is absolutely dead on to what I feel the percentage chance for this horse to win is. So for me, that is a legitimate favorite.
And so when you look at that and see that and go, okay, it's a legit favorite. This it matches its probability, as you said, to win the race. What do you do with that favorite? Are you looking within the race to bet exactors and maybe looking longer there, or trifectas, or superfectas, or are you looking across, maybe play a double or a pick three? This is the last three races of the day.
Yeah, so for me and my betting style, I'm not an exacta or trifecta guy. I never have been. I should be more often. Um, but something that I always tell people that ask is, don't ever forget where you've come from, right? And it doesn't matter whether that's in life or if it's in betting. I typically play pick fours and pick fives and quite a bit of them. But one of the things, especially starting out, you try to connect a couple races, right? So, play a double or every once in a while you'd play a pick three and feel, oh man, there's a shot that I may hit this. And so, for me, I play a lot of pick fours and pick fives. But don't ever forget playing those doubles, because if your opinions are correct about the pick five, then that means that you're hitting multiple pick doubles or potentially multiple pick threes. And that can really speed up that bankroll right away from that perspective. So for me with Roswell is a use in all of my tickets, doubles and pick threes. I also used in the pick four and pick five, but did not single in any way, shape, or form on any tickets.
Okay, let me ask this question: are we live to the pick fives and pick fours?
Given that last race, with the and the two horses that I had in my ticket, clipping heels, no, unfortunately not. But so far it's been a good meet overall, and so beggars can't be choosers as far as winnings are concerned.
Sure. So you're looking at horses as I do with pick fives. You're looking at horses to win. I'll say it this way. I'm not fiddling around with second and third and getting nosed out in superfectas. I play superfectas once a year on Kentucky Derby, on the Derby. That's it. Because of the high
Yeah.
variability, right? The chaos 20 horses brings. I think it's worth the dollar wager. So, but for me, I'm like you. So when I'm interested in this question, if you don't mind, because I know what
Please.
my tact is. When I get knocked out of a pick five or a pick four, I tend not to play and watch it for a while, and maybe I don't play anymore. Do you go ahead and still continue to back your wagers, reducing them to doubles and pick threes along the way, or do you do something different and just play a win bet?
Look, if my opinion is strong, then I'm going to play regardless of that, because that I've done the research, I've put my time in,
Yep.
and if I like a horse, then I like a horse. And it doesn't matter whether I'm knocked out in the first leg, second leg, third leg, what have you. So for me, I wanted to maximize in my opinion based on the fact that I think there's a single in the last race, and so I'll be rolling pick threes and doubles into that horse. And starting with this leg, I think that this leg is probably the more volatile of the three legs, withstanding for the rest of the card.
And so, what would be? I know I want to get to the last leg as well, if we don't mind. If you don't mind, but tell me who you
Yeah.
got. Tell me who you got here to kick off the pick three and doubles, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no. So my top pick is Princess Madison, the number 9 Phil Bauer horse.
Okay.
I thought that last race, the Maiden Breaker, was really impressive.
Yep.
Um, Definitely didn't face a whole lot, but I also think that has a lot of room to kind of improve and build off of that race. And looking at any of the speed figures, is right on par with the favorite.
Yep.
So for me, that was definitely a horse that I wanted to use, and also the number 6 alongside the favorite, Tricky Temper. First time coming back to the Lasix after the Bowery. You know, Good effort, but I think that this horse is going to be better on a fast track overall. So, getting back to a fast track, I think will suit this horse well, and has tactical speed to be more forwardly placed than our favorite. And I think that that's kind of my theme for this race overall. Is the favorite is has a tendency to kind of hang mid pack, and I would prefer horses that are going to be at a little bit of longer price that stand a chance to make first run
Yeah.
um, overall.
Yeah, I mean it's I like the 6 and the 9 too. They were included on my pick five ticket. I'm not sure if that's good or bad for you, but it's so interesting to see how the trainers position their horses. And for me, that's one of the things I'm looking at in Saratoga. Why is this horse in this race? Why is the trainer position this horse? And certainly with the 6, as you said, that's a horse that I like. I like the chances. I just like the chances, and I like the chances even better at the odds. And I'm interested, state bred dropping into open company. I feel there must be a lot of confidence behind that. Certainly, Jeremiah has. I think he's got 2 wins already on the meet. So yeah, I'm with you there, and I hope you can get there. But I really want to know about the last race too, because I saw that race as being a little chaotic, and you're saying you see it as a single. So that's so interesting how we see things differently. Who do you like in the last race?
Yeah, so I'm fully expecting the number 4 geopolitics to get bet down lower than even money.
Yep.
If you look at the company that horse has faced, it's miles above the rest of the field, and you're starting to get into territory of is this horse seconditis? Doesn't want to win, hasn't won in 3
Mm,
races, has been nosed in all 3.
yeah.
Um, but the overall company, you look at even the May 24th race, the maiden special weight two back, there's quite a bit of good form coming out of there. So for me, I just think that geopolitics is going to be miles above the rest of the field, and is likely to be absolutely loose on the lead.
So when I don't like the favorite, in this case, as you said, is there second-itis? Is this horse just going to run down to his company? Is that the kind of horse it is? We're not gonna find that out, right, in about an hour or so. And so for
Agreed.
me, and a pick five that's dead. So this is coming from a guy who's got a dead ticket, right? So I said to myself, I don't like it. And then when I don't like the favorite, I try to take as many. My view is on the pick fives and fours. How many chances can I afford to take? How many shots can I take against that favorite? And so for me, I just went with long odds. A horse that might wake up, a horse who's trying a different surface, different rider, that kind of stuff. So I went 5, 8, 10 there. I'm not saying I'm going to be even close to it, but I'm going to be rooting for you, man. So, hey, appreciate the time. I think you got to come back because this is easy talking to you.
Well, no, I definitely appreciate that. And hey, look, I would never talk you off of any horses that are going to be, 10, 12, 15 to 1. And certainly, in a field of maiden special weights that feels like they haven't, there's really not a whole lot of good talent there at the maiden special weight level. A lot of these feel like claiming types.
Yeah,
Um, it's not going to take much to upset the apple cart. I'm just hoping that I get a little lightning in a bottle, and certainly take the favorite.
yeah.
Singled in the last.
And sometimes when you take the favorite, how I look at it, and the favorite wins, sometimes you take even money and you turn it into $100 or $200 or $1,000, right? Because you have some odds around that, and so you're really capitalizing on your opinions in other races and
Mhm.
piggybacking that on the favorite, the most likely winner. And that's not. I don't think that's a bad way to go.
No, and for me, I like two horses in the leg beforehand for in race 9. So for me, I'm going to play quite a bit of doubles, maximizing my opinions on the 5 and 7 in race 9. I won't weight them evenly,
Okay.
um, but I do think that I would probably weight the 7 more than the 5. So in doubles into the 4. So
Yeah.
at least that's going to be my opinion as far as that's concerned. And if I can hit, the 7 at 8 to 1 rolling into an even money shot, as far as doubles are concerned, should actually pay out pretty decently. So, from my perspective, you play it for 10, 20, $30, you'll do just fine.
And anytime you can beat, I feel you beat a brown horse, you're actually getting greater. You're probably getting greater odds in the double, right? He's got 2 in the race. So if you're going to go against Brown and can beat him when he's got 2 in the race, that horse, if it goes off at 8-1, might be really be 12-1 or 14-1 in those doubles. So I like that tact. I like that way you're addressing it and capitalizing on those opinions, man. I'll be rooting for you.
No, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that.
And I'll have you back. We'll talk a little bit more analytics, because I'd really like to hear about how that works for you and helps you formulate your opinions and bets. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to discuss it.
All right, man. Maybe we'll get our buddy Chris on too, the man who likes to play the turf.
There you go. Yep, exactly, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We'll be talking.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Marshall. Thanks, man. right, back at it. You can see I am by my lonesome here. Guest for the ninth race couldn't make it. Hey, had a conflict. That's life. So we'll talk about the ninth race coming up. Before I get to the ninth race, let me talk about what all three of my guests talked about already. Now, you didn't see Ed because I had some technical difficulties. Ed DeRosa talked about the favorite being an underlay at 5-2 currently that he was, the My Race horse in the sixth race, and really wanted to capitalize on that horse not coming in the money at all. It did not. Unfortunately, Ed didn't cash on it, neither did I. Right idea, poor execution, we might say. In my second conversation with Tom Amello, same thing. Looked at the favorite, picked the second choice. The horse clipped heels out of the gate, so there you go. With the favorite, they both finished fast, neither won. And then just my last guess, Marshall, he talked about a worthy favorite in the seven horse in the eighth race, but he liked the nine horse a little bit better at the second choice. Thought the nine horse was up to the task, and he's alive in some pick threes, I believe. So the point of the show, the horse gambling show, is to provide strategies, techniques, things we've learned, people besides me, obviously, what they have learned and how they use those strategies and what they look for and when they look to capitalize to really get a return on their investment. You're going to be wrong a lot more than you're going to be right when you play on the horses. So you have to capitalize on the times when you are right, when you have an opinion. I have to tell you, for this ninth race, I do not have a strong opinion. I don't like this race from a betting standpoint. I will tell you the top choices that we have in here. Of the top choices, that being the two, not the two horse, I'm sorry, the four horse, Vino Rouge. I wouldn't bet that horse at 2-1. I don't like that horse at 2-1. I'm not confident the trainer's going to get a win this early in the Saratoga meet. Then you have Chad Brown getting pounded down to the five horse Child of the Moon from 4-1, morning line at 2-1. That was probably be expected. And then you have the 10 horse, who's still at 5-2 at its morning line odds. I think one of the two of the Chad horses is going to win the race. Like I said, not a lot of faith in the four horse. Determined Lily. Marshall liked this horse a little bit, my last guest. Trombetta, the trainer Michael Trombetta, is another trainer that does not have a lot of success at Saratoga within the first 10 days of the meet. I think the last 6 years he has one win. So whether he just doesn't get his horses ready right off the bat or the horses need a race, just not confident in that horse as well. I mean, looking at this race, I would likely pass on this race, or I would try to hammer some doubles with what I thought was the top choice. Child of the Moon, that's where I landed as my top choice. I like some horses with long odds in the next race. 5, 8, and 10. Those horses morning line are 10-1, 12-1, 10-1. So maybe I would play doubles with Child of the Moon. Pick the horse that I like best among the three short priced horses that are all going to vie for favoritism in the last final minutes of this race. If you're really looking for a horse with an outside chance, maybe Any Port with Julien Leparoux with Roy Lerman. That's not a combination you see often. Maybe just try something different. Horse is decent too, right at its morning line at 10-1. So I'm sorry, I don't have a strong opinion on this race to share with you. The point of this show, and we're going to try to get it going every Friday during the Saratoga meet. The point of the show is to simply share, like I said, techniques and strategies, right? Teach a man to fish or give him a fish. If you want to fish, there's plenty of people going to give you winners, and they tout those winners when they have them. You can pay into services if you don't want to do the work yourself, but certainly doing the work yourself and evolving and learning what works best for you is important. And certainly, my father told me a long time ago, sometimes the best bet is no bet at all. So I'm going to pass on this race. Like I said, no opinion. Very lukewarm. Play the 5 on top of doubles with the 5, 8, and 10. That's all I got. So we will try to keep it more exciting with the last race with my friend Jason Magnum coming up. Uh, Maiden special weight on the grass, 5.5 furlongs. I hope he's got a long shot for us. So we will see you soon.
Okay. What do I like about horse betting? Uh, Everything, man. I'm a math nerd, so growing up as a kid, my dad took me to the track, and I was really into fractions and division and all that kind of stuff. So when it came to figuring odds and all that, when I was 11, 12 years old, that came pretty easy to me. So just as far as understanding the game, obviously it's one of the most difficult games in the world, and it's maddening sometimes.
Yep.
But as far as reading the racing forms concerned, those type of things, a lot of people, when they look at it, it looks like Greek to them,
Yep.
and it just kind of came easy to me. And then obviously it was something that my dad and I could do together. So there's that old scene from City Slickers with Daniel Stern about how they could always agree on one thing, even when they fought like cats and dogs, and that was baseball. And that was racing was something that was what my dad and I enjoyed together. So
That's awesome.
even though we always had differing opinions on races, but that's what we got to spend time together. That's what we did. So, and actually, I believe it was in 2016, my father passed away, and since we're two old horse racing nation folks,
Yeah.
I was out at Santa Anita covering the Breeders' Cup for Horse Racing Nation that year, and my dad's ashes are buried out in the infield of Santa Anita Park. So,
Very nice. Nicely
yeah,
done.
he passed away about a week before I was to head out there. So I took his ashes out there, and that's where he's at.
Nice tribute. Sorry to hear, but definitely a nice tribute. I've been part of those as well at Saratoga with some folks, helping a buddy spur his dad's ashes. So, they stay with us in lots of different ways in our head and our heart, but also where we think about them, and we think about them fondly. So, thinking of this fondly, tell me quickly. I think we got 2 minutes to post, man. Maybe three by the time they load them. What's your opinion and what's your bet on this race? This is a big field of maidens.
Yeah, so it's some turf sprinters, and the 4 has a little case of second-itis.
That's what I think.
So, I'm not big fan, especially at 4-5, there the horse sits now.
Yeah.
We came in from California, nice run for him out against state breds. And so I think that horse is a good contender. The 5, Linda Rice, deadly on the turf, especially in turf sprints. This horse is coming off a layoff, getting back to the grass. Had two turf races, but they were around 2 turns. And so first time Lasix, coming off a layoff, and Linda Rice is really good at turf sprints. And then I think a sneaky horse is the 10. David Donk really doesn't fire well with his first time starters. 10 looks great on the track. I'm not a real good I don't know. I don't read horses' body language well.
Yeah, me neither.
Unless it's really good or really bad. And this horse does look great on the track. I read Ortiz never read for David Donk,
No.
especially first time starter, since David Donk shoots such a low percentage. So I'm going to try to get 2 out of those 3 horses on the board in the track. One of the 3, 5, or 10 has to win, and then one of them has to run second or third.
Yep.
And we have almost every other horse in the race to fill out that third spot of the trifecta. I think the horses I kicked out were the 2, 12, and the 8.
Right. 12 and the 8. So we need the 3, 5, 10 first and third. Is that right? Is that what you said?
And 3 or 10 has to win,
Yep.
and then 5 or 10 can run second or through third. 2 of those 3 have to land on the board.
Yep.
And then in second or third could be any horse in the race, pretty much, other than the call that I mentioned that I kicked out. So those 50-cent trifectas, so 3, 5 with 3, 5, 10 with all those horses, that's a $20 ticket. And then if you flip the second, third line, so 3, 5, 10 on top, and 3, 5, 10 in third.
Okay.
And then all those horses in second.
Got you.
That's a $20 bet. So $40 ticket. So obviously, if the 4 wins, we're out.
Yep.
And if it runs 3, 4, say it runs 3, 4, 5, we'll be lucky to get your money back.
Right.
So really, the 4 gets in the speed duel here. 4s ran on the turf once. The speed figure didn't come back that great compared. I used Brisnet.
Yep.
And that figure, actually, the 3 ran a couple lengths faster than the 4 in their New York turf debuts. So, And I think the four's a little more of a need to lead type of horse. Four's never passed any horses in the stretch.
Yep.
So
I like.
not a ton of speed here,
Yeah.
but
I
go
like.
ahead, Tony.
No, I like just what you said. All of my guests have all mentioned the favorite and how to play against the favorite or for the favorite. So I think you're a couple seconds ahead of me on the feed. So let's hope the
Yeah,
four.
actually, 3 and the 4 are dueling. So the back off, or 3's going to back off a little bit. So unfortunately, nobody's out there pressing that 4 horse right now.
So you can have him come second though and still win it.
That's correct.
The 4.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
three's sitting a good trip. I just wish 8 and 4 run a little harder. But 3's sitting a pocket trip. There's no doubt about that. Just depends on if it's good enough. Of course, it's one of the horses that I do not have in the trifecta. 24-1. 3 needs all kinds of room, or 3 needs some. 3's actually going to get the rail run. Is 3 going to be good enough? No. 8's now. Ooh, 8 upset at 24-1.
Beat the 4.
So that's one of those maddening things about horse racing is you beat the favorite.
Yep.
And you still don't cash your ticket.
You still don't, right? Because you didn't have the 8 was one of the couple horses. That's how you put in the winner's circle, right? And you give them off your ticket.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah, I believe that horse was first time turf. And Kid Carmouche, he won a couple races yesterday.
He did.
And
he did.
Yeah, the dam of the 8 has thrown 1 turf winner. So, oh well. You just can't use them all. And that horse also had a little second itis to her too. So.
Yeah. So I think an interesting point is when you don't like the favorite, how do you beat the favorite? And if you can't beat him, you just say, all right, next time we'll give it a try. But you have and this is what I see, right idea, just not the right execution, right?
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it came 8-4-3. I mean, they'll pay a little bit because you have 24-1, but you still have, I think first and second choice underneath. So it'll pay a little bit, not a lot of it, but hey, man, I like the strategy. I like the thought process. I think it's more about thinking about the process than winning every time because we don't win every time. It's impossible.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? 100%. You gonna make it to Saratoga anytime soon?
I would love to. We've talked about it for years now. It will happen one of these days.
I tell you what, this is how close I live. My son and I are going for 24 hours tomorrow. We're going to leave. He's got to work a little bit in the morning. We're going to be out there, probably land in Saratoga, get there about 3:30, 4 o'clock, watch the back half of the card with some friends, go to dinner, then go to the front half of the card, go home.
Awesome. Very good. That'll be fantastic.
Yeah, you got to let me know. So let's do this again. We're getting technical difficulties figured out, and yeah, man, let's talk Saratoga. I'm trying to do it on Friday. So if you think you have time on a Friday, let me know. If not, we'll get another time.
Great, Tony.
All right, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk a little bit further. I got to run.
All right, later.
All right, thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye. All right, I'll go get her. All right, yeah.